What's up, guys? Tyler here. We are doing a quick install video today. Install, maintenance, I don't know, you can call it whatever you want. But in front of me, we have an M62 blower from a Cobalt SS or Ion Redline. One of the most common things that need maintenance on these is the Supercharger coupler. So if you rewind back to our dual pass video, I'm sure Eric can magically insert that here.
What the f was that?
But once you have your blower off, maintaining it is actually pretty straightforward. There is a few common misconceptions about the blowers. There are some noises that they can make, and the one that we're gonna be addressing here today is if your blower sounds like a bag of rocks at idle, then it's time for a coupler swap. Now, GM and Eaton advertise this as a service-free blower, and for the most part it is. However, these cars are getting up in age, as I always say, and sometimes they need a little love. So your Supercharger coupler is in between here, and it's what connects the snout to the rotor packs. And I have our replacement ZZP here that we're going to install today, but basically it is a bushing, so rather than having metal on metal contact, you have some sort of give there, but they wear out. The stock one is more of a standard polymer, rubber, plastic. Ours is a little bit harder. Once you install that, you'll probably never have to service it ever again. Now, like I said, there are a few different noises that a blower can make. If you go on YouTube and search Supercharger noise, the Supercharger coupler noise generally will go away after idle. So if your car is sitting there and you've checked your timing chain because you think that's clattering, it's not doing that. If it sounds, like I said, like a bag of rocks, it's going official sound bite there, then you rev it and it goes away, then generally it's going to be your coupler. So you don't need much once the blower's off. Really, you just need a 10 mil, a 3/16 Allen, and some sort of sealant. I'm going to be using Loctite anaerobic sealant here. You can use GM gray adhesive, or we sell the RTV water pump sealant as well. That'll work. For an M62, you need only one bottle of Supercharger oil. The official fill capacity is 3.4 ounces, completely dry. So we're gonna drain this, we're gonna fill it back up, we're gonna swap our couplers, and then hopefully have you back on the road. So first, as you can see, looking at the snout here, this is your snout, this is your case. They're held together by these 10 mil bolts. Now, if you're only changing the oil, you can actually do it with our Supercharger fill kit. It comes with a little syringe, but personally, if I'm removing the oil, I'm gonna swap the coupler anyway. They're $10 for the GM ones, $20 for our ZZPs, so nice and affordable. So this is gonna be your drain or fill spot, and that takes a 3/16 Allen. So removing the oil or getting the old stuff out, you have one of two ways. You can either bring it out, the fill spot there, or you can crack open the snout with your 10 mils. I'm gonna keep it a little bit cleaner. So we are gonna crack open our fill spot here. We're gonna drain most of it into the pan, then crack the 10 mils. Now, I have no idea what this blower has been through. I got it off a junkyard. This one will probably end up on the blue car. I'm gonna be porting it. So let's grab a drain pan, set this up here. As I struggle to find a tipping point, let's just kind of set her in there. There we go, that works. I'm gonna go ahead and work this off here. Now there is a little O-ring on this, so make sure not to lose that. And then I'm just gonna tip it on its end, drain that stinky oil out. Stuff might be worse than gear oil. Either way, it's smelly. Okay. That's probably about most of it. So now what I'm gonna do is start cracking these 10 mils loose. We are firmly attached. So I'm gonna grab a dead blow real quick. Dead blow acquired. Since we should have most of the oil out, should be all right. Removing this. But put this down just in case. So basically you just wanna free it from the case here. And there it goes.
Made itself heard.
Yep. Well, after that went flying, that kind of shows you how they get a little bit loose. It didn't want to stay anymore, so while I never ran this blower, I knew that it probably wasn't the healthiest. So there is your OEM. Here's our ZZP. Can't really tell from looking, but like I said, with how affordable these are, it's never a bad thing to do. Now that we have the snout away from the case, we can kind of show you here. So obviously your snout, your belt grabs onto your pulley here. It spins this shaft, which then has the coupler attached. And then the coupler goes onto that. And then these gears are what turn your rotors. And as you can see, I kept this blower because the rotors are in pretty good condition. The Eaton blowers use a special type of coating on their rotors that you do not want to remove, no matter what. As they get worn, you'll start to see spots like, let's see if we can find one. There, where the coating wears off. If you have an especially bad blower, you may have no coating left. In which case, your blower is unfortunately pretty much done. So I am going to flip these upside down to kind of let the remnants drip out of the supercharger oil. So once all of your oil is drained out of both sides, we need to go about cleaning your mating surface up so you can reseal it correctly. Now, you can see here, I don't know what year this car is from, but all your leftover sealant is around here, there, and then actually, it's so stuck on there that it has almost become solidified like candy. Weird. I have not seen that before, but basically what you need to do is make sure your mating surfaces are totally clean. So I'm gonna go through and pick out all this old sealant, make sure these are wiped down, and then we will get back together. I'm using a plastic razor blade here, and the reason you want to use that over a regular razor blade is not to gall the surface. So you have much less of a chance of getting a nick or anything going over it with plastic like this. Move over to our case. And for inside these holes, I'm actually going to grab a pick to see if I can scoop some of that out. Take some brake clean. Get up in there. Make sure your little flakes aren't going anywhere. Now we just need to make sure the mating surfaces are completely dry. Coupler going back in, you've got your ZZPs, those will face out and you will fit the raised sides on the shaft, and it's going to be tight. You might want to use a little oil, make it go on a little bit easier. So I'm going to pull that back off and do just that. Okay, so I'm just gonna get a dab on my finger. Go around the posts. Then we'll toss our coupler on. As you can see, it's a pretty tight fit. I'm gonna go grab my dead blow once more and just go around, tap it on. Okay. Good there. Now time for the sealant. This particular RTV is anaerobic, so you need to make sure there's no oxygen that can get to it. Now, when it comes to how much sealant to put, you can definitely have too much. So I'm going to lay a small amount around. Try and stick towards the outside, but also cover your whole surface. You just don't want excess going into where the oil is. Making sure we don't have too much excess sealant there. It looks pretty good to me. Now, like I said, the coupler fit is tight, which is what you want, basically because the coupler rattle comes from it being loose. So you'll line up your other 3 holes that are unoccupied, onto the blower and get it started there. All right, so we're seated. Now what I'm gonna do is just kind of tap it home. The blower case is aluminum, so you don't want to use a regular hammer and break that all apart. But what I'm going to do is get my bolts started. I'll wipe off some extra gook if they got them. And I'm not going to torque them down, but I'm going to go around kind of in a star pattern like you would on your wheels. Okay, we got them started. I'm going to take my regular ratchet now. And start to torque them down. Okay, so I went around on the first pass. Now I'm gonna just remove this excess gasket material that's seeping out. Now that I've got these snugged up, I'm going to do the right thing for once and actually torque them to spec. So I am clamping it, my blower being it, to the table here. So she doesn't move quite as much. There we go. That should do. Got the torque wrench set to 20 foot-pounds. And then, like I said, move around like you would a wheel. Don't forget the one underneath. See if I can get on there. Nope. I'm gonna have to flip her over for that last one. We are torqued down. Now, all we have left is to refill. Like I said, on an M62, official fill capacity is 3.4 ounces. Our supercharger oil comes in 4-ounce containers. Now, you can just dump the 4 ounces in. That's really not gonna hurt anything. The only thing more oil is gonna do is actually create a little more drag, but kind of tough to measure out 3.4 out of here. So if you have another syringe or a flask or something that you can do some proper measuring, you can get exactly 3.4. I used a little for lubrication, so we're gonna go with mostly all of it. And I am shaky today. Yep, we got what feels like 0.6 ounces in there. So we'll set that off to the side. Might want to give your plug a quick spray with some brake clean. Like I said, make sure your O-ring is good so you're sealed there. Oop. Taking out cameras. Come on. As we spin and spin. There we go. Now we have some torque on it. All right. I'll put that down. I'll snug that up. And with that, your supercharger oil and coupler are changed. If you want to do one last check, give it a spin. Make sure she spins freely. That feels pretty dang good to me. Make sure you're not leaking oil anywhere, not seeping. It looks pretty solid. All right, thanks for joining us. Another quick install maintenance video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you want to see next. Got a couple more blue car videos planned for the immediate future, along with some other platforms. So we'll catch you next time. Peace.